Hi, Lacey.
Hello, Lizzie.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's nice to see you.
You too. Where are you?
I am in my home in London right now.
So, welcome to the open source interview series. As you know, the theme is talking to people about their own practice. So, how did you find yoga? Did you find yoga or meditation first?
I found yoga first. That was about 10 years ago through a lovely university boyfriend who was practicing and
Mm-hmm.
who so graciously bought me classes and my first yoga mat and dragged me along. And I loved it. It wasn't easy for me by any means at first. I had one of those relationships where I really wanted to go, and then the day would come, and then I couldn't go because I couldn't make myself do it. So I had a lot of anxiety around actually getting to class. Like it was a big internal struggle for me.
Mm-hmm. And what style was it back then?
It was a flowing class, so I was going to vinyasa and having a really inspired time seeing people around me move with fluidity and be able to lower themselves to the ground in plank. And I was I was amazed. My arms my arms would just like crumble underneath me and I'd be in downward dog and the teacher would say the word rest and down dog and I just like how why no it's not a rest.
So, how did you start teaching? What was that transition like?
I was at a really big crossroads. I was 25 and I had just finished my degree in English literature. But I really felt as though I kind of failed at my first passion, which was acting. I'd
Mm-hmm.
moved away and done a bit, but it never really took off. And I hadn't really seen anyone in my life live a creative, independent life. So I didn't really know how to emulate that or how to do that. And so I decided it was time for me to do something professional because I hadn't succeeded at acting and I had this English literature degree. And I thought, okay, I'm going to write the LSATs and become a lawyer. So I went the other end of the spectrum.
Okay.
And I wrote the LSATs and I did horribly, just really, really badly because multiple choice questions are awful. And I was doing a lot of yoga at the time and I really needed a life raft. And that was kind of floating towards me in this sea of uncertainty. And so I grabbed a hold of it and I didn't know what that would mean or whether I was the kind of person that would be able to go out in the world and teach. Was I good enough? Did I know enough? But I knew that I had to follow that. So it was met by some resistance from people around me who had just seen me say I was going to, do something professional, and then and then the opposite. I think of what a lot of people see as professional is this nomadic, uncertain life of the yoga teacher. But
Exactly.
that was 6 years ago now.
And so, what about your home practice? You started, of course, in classes, as we all do, but do you practice at home now? Did you start practicing at home at some point? Can you talk a little bit about that?
For sure. So right now, my practice at home is primarily meditation based. So I
Mm-hmm.
meditate in the mornings and the evenings. And the asana practice, so my physical practice, is much more maintenance based. So doing a little bit here and there just to get physical. I'm working a lot right now in my head. I'm having really heady days nonstop. So I need that little bit of body connection. And hopefully it will become more again soon. I'll carve out the time. Still, it can be a struggle sometimes, but I'm really anchoring in my meditation practice.
Yeah,
And
so talk to me about that. What's your meditation practice like? Like what did you do today, this morning? What type of a meditation?
this morning, I actually didn't do anything yet, so
Okay,
just
yesterday.
don't tell anyone. Um, Yesterday, so I generally roll out of bed and sometimes I'll get dressed first, but sometimes I won't, and I'll just move right onto a cushion and I'll sit down and I'll do maybe a little bit of movement in my shoulders and just kind of find the architecture of my body and what feels comfortable. And then I'll just sit and focus on the breath. Usually that will take me pretty deeply pretty quickly first thing in the morning. If I go onto the breath at night, sometimes I'll need to point my focus maybe like on a very specific spot in my body. If I've had a really heady day, I'll need to focus on something specific. So the flow of the breath, I kind of focus on in the morning, which is this more movement-based focus, but sometimes I need a really solid point if I'm feeling chaotic in the evenings.
And who did you learn meditation from, or what have you read? How did you find meditation?
I first started meditating with my teachers who I did my first yoga teacher training with. And one of my main teachers, he had been meditating for 20 years or 25 years and had been teaching it for 15 years. And he taught me a single point of focus meditation, which was with the eyes open, gazing at one point, focusing on that one point, and just allowing your mind to keep coming back to that. And breath-based as well. And so I did that for a long time. And then I learned that you could close your eyes. That was really exciting because I hated having my eyes opened. I didn't know that I was allowed to close my eyes. So, and then once I started doing that, I found that my meditation practice grew and went a lot deeper. So I also, through different yoga readings and different classes, experienced different approaches to meditation. When I did my second training in India, did lots of really cool kinds of meditation, focusing on chakras or mantra or the flame of a candle. So have kind of explored with different styles.
And do you teach meditation in your classes? When you teach an asana class, how much do you trust to give? Do you give your students a 10-minute meditation in a 90-minute asana class?
Yeah, I haven't been teaching 90-minute classes for quite a while. So the classes that I was teaching here in London, so I've been in London for 6 months and I was teaching for a while, but now I'm transitioning into my new business and I'm not teaching classes. But I was doing 60-minute classes and I was managing to squeeze probably about a 5-minute meditation in the end. So generally in an ideal world, in a 90-minute class, I would love to do 5-7 minutes at the beginning, 10 minutes at the end. But yeah, it's been a while since I've been in that boat.
I sometimes say to my students, because I teach mostly restorative yoga, and I sometimes say, in my own life, it really was meditation and longer, Shavasana for 20 minutes, Supta Baddha Konasana for 25 minutes, those type of practices that changed my life. It wasn't chaturanga that changed my, it's like it's never just one more chaturanga and then I have some sort of experience of transcendence. It's like the simple sitting with the breath, lying down and letting go. Those practices for me have been the most transformative.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you there. Although many physical breakthroughs and I guess breakthroughs and kind of boundaries have happened for me in my physical practice, going past what I thought was physically possible. Those moments of actually extending energetically outside of oneself, those have really also happened for me in my yin, more inward turning practices, or simply lying on the ground, or pushing past that 10-minute mark in meditation when I started to lengthen them. And then you really do see that if you stay with it, you're just falling deeper and deeper and deeper. So it's allowing time to unfold it instead of forcing or exerting our will over the practice.
Who would you say is your teacher? What?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have a wonderful teacher in India who I'm very, very fond of, Yoga Rishi Vishvaketu. And I have teachers.
Where is he?
He's in Rishikesh. Yeah, so I would say I feel most kind of energetically transformed in his presence, and he kind of is the one that comes to me and gives me little tidbits when I'm trying to figure out what to do. In the same vein, I was back in Canada for 6 months last year and was able to practice with some of my original teachers who I learned yoga from, and I very much consider them my foundation, my sort of moms and dads of yoga. And then different people that I've kind of met throughout the world. So after I finished my first training, I got to Europe and I worked on a retreat in Portugal and ended up living in Berlin for a couple of years, and then was in Australia for a few years. So now back over on this side. And it's interesting when you're moving so much, because it can be difficult to align yourself and get the consistency as a student that we really require, even as teachers, to be able to go to a class and feel that sense of safety and really just feeling like you're in someone's presence who you just completely trust them, and you just want to go on whatever journey they're creating. Yeah. So I've had a couple of those experiences recently, which has been really wonderful. And I'm looking forward to living here for a while so that I can get back into a relationship with senior teachers.
Yeah, I think that you've hit the nail on the head, that word relationship. I think that's what it's about, in terms of really trusting someone to push you where you need to go, and kind of dropping to some extent the filter, of questioning or skepticism. Is this the right thing for me? It's just like, okay, I'm doing this because they suggested that I do it.
Yeah, definitely. And as a teacher, I think we're all analytical and critical, even when we don't want to be, and when we have the best intentions. And that's just one of my works, is going to a class and I'm dropping my teacher hat and just allowing myself to receive and getting out of that mindset, because I do get into it, as much as I hate to admit it, that I'll hear someone say something and I'll be like, oh.
So I found you through the magic of the internet because I was Googling yoga and creativity. About a year ago, I had the idea that I wanted to write a book called Yoga and Creativity. And then I found that you had already written that book. And then I, fell into your rabbit hole online and kind of checked you out. And I loved your energy. But you were, I think at that time, in Australia. I had the feeling. So are you from Canada?
I am from Canada, yeah.
Okay.
So I was in Australia for a few years. And when I got to Australia after living in Berlin, I started teaching a lot more and really kind of getting into the community. And then I started creating workshops and retreats for the first time on a larger scale, and was doing a lot of yoga and creativity work. And it was really taking off. So that's when I wrote the Yoga and Creativity ebook and put that out into the world. And now it's free. It's free online now.
Where can people find it?
yogaandcreativity.com, and it's a free download.
So why did you decide to give it away?
I decided to give it away because I've been working under my company title of the Yoga Emporium for the last 5 or 6 years. And that's kind of been my space where I've created my workshops, aligned with other teachers, I've blogged, created my ebook. But now I'm starting a new business, and I realized that this old one had kind of lived its life. And so as a kind of shedding of that cycle, I decided to give away the ebook. And yeah, it's been really wonderful to just put that out in the world as a little treasure for people to discover.
Yeah, that's very generous of you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So tell me about your new business.
My new business is called Meditate Forever, with the number 4. And it is a meditation platform that really takes away the menus, the scrolling, and the options. So we're kind of going in the opposite direction of most content-based websites, which is that more mentality. And we're saying no, less, wanting to create the spaciousness in our actual platform that's created through the practice of meditation. So what we offer is one guided video meditation every 24 hours. So every time you log on, every day there's a new meditation waiting for you. And we're following like an overarching journey. So we'll be going all sorts of different places. And we want to motivate people to actually sit down and meditate every single day. We'll have guest teachers. Hopefully you'll be a guest teacher.
I think this is a great idea. So, and is there an archive feature, or is it just refreshing every day?
It's just refreshing every single day, which is interesting and a challenging concept, because in our case studies with people, there was this real excitement and also fear going hand in hand, exciting and feeling inspired because something is new is coming. You don't know what's coming, but also afraid of letting go of what you've just had, especially when you've really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that's the most wonderful metaphor for daily existence as a human being, because we can't go back and relive our experiences no matter how extraordinary they were. And we have to rely on our experience and on being present to then take that experience with us wherever we go. So
yeah,
really excited about it. It's totally different and wild and yeah, it's going to be a really interesting journey to watch people feel inspired to sit every day, hopefully.
And what's the kind of delivery platform? It'll be an app on the phone?
It's going to be just a video-based website right now. So you'll log on to the website and super simple interface. You won't have to do any clicking. The video will just be there for you. You won't have to scroll around to find it. And then it'll just be there for you the next day. So theoretically, you could just send your landing page to it, and the second you open your browser,
that's really smart.
Your video could start, and you don't have to faff about or get stuck in the digital vortex.
So what about how does it work? We pay a monthly fee, or?
Yeah, it's subscription based, and our full launch is June 2nd. So that's when content will be coming online. And once this interview will be published after the pre-launch has happened. So when the intro video is online and when we're kind of talking about it publicly, starting to generate some energy towards it. So it'll be subscription-based and just simple.
I love it. I really love it. I have a degree in design, and so I think of everything, sort of half of my brain is a designer and half of my brain is a yogi. And I'm definitely a minimalist in everything in life. My husband always teases me. I'm a minimalist in every sense of design except for with salad. Like, I'm a maximalist with salad. He is a maximalist in many other ways, but he believes salad is lettuce, oil, and vinegar, and I believe salad is like anything you can put on top of lettuce.
I think that's the best place to be a maximalist.
I'm from California, It's like
that makes me want you to make me a salad.
No, but so I love why I said that is I love the minimalist approach, the real simplicity. So where can we find your website?
It will be Meditate Forever with the number 4 ever.com, and then we'll be across all social media platforms at meditateforever.com.
Love it.
And there'll be 3 free audio meditations available right away. So even though we don't kick off sitting together until June 2nd, there's meditations available right away so that you can get started and then get prepared for the big sit happening on the 2nd.
What about, so as an entrepreneur too, I love thinking about, like, how are you going to shoot all of the content? Will you shoot something every day, or will you kind of gang shoot?
Yeah, so the plan is to shoot 7 episodes a week or 7 days a week in one sitting.
Right.
And then we'll also shoot blog video content or interviews with that week's guest teacher. So the hope is to have a guest teacher every week. And we'll be probably a month in advance. That's the goal. A month in advance. It's a wild thing to do because I think that we're often taught to like take a piece of content and get the most out of it, like drive it in every direction. This is the exact opposite. And from a business standpoint, that's a really bold thing to do. So it's my husband and I are doing it together. So we've just been working nonstop day and night for the last 3 months on this, and we'll continue to.
There's something sort of Snapchat about it that I like. Ephemeral and I think it's right on for the digital overload generation, because you feel as though you're always caught up. It's not the feeling you have in your email box of like, oh, I have 20 emails I have to write back to, today. Like, just the ever lengthening accumulation.
Yeah, I think we're really good at digital hoarding now as well, we keep things and don't ever do them. So we have piles of ebooks or all these documents and don't really ever maximize them. So instead of downloading these and keeping them, they just tick over. And if you miss a day, that's fine. You're not going to be penalized. On the same side of that coin, maybe you'll feel less likely to miss a day because you don't want to miss the experience. So that's the real motivation that we want to keep. And we're not necessarily going to tell people in advance when the guest teachers are going to be popping on. So there'll be a bit of play there so that there is that sense of accountability and drive.
I like it. Yeah. I think that's why I went to digital reading, and then I've fully switched back to paper books because I like having the book like shout at me from my nightstand. Because exactly it's the first time I hear that term, digital hoarding, but that's exactly.
Do you find that you're reading more now that you're back to regular books?
I am. I like the aesthetics of, I realized many of the places I read are places I don't want to take my electronics. So my favorite places to read are in the sauna and in the bathtub. And so of course the paper book I'm willing to sacrifice, although in the sauna the glue gets a little it starts to unglue if you stay in too long. But well, Lacey, it's been such a pleasure to have you.
It's been so nice to finally meet you. I'm really happy to be in your presence and in your world.
I'm sending you a big namaste to London, and I so admire your ambition in launching a new meditation platform. It's what the world needs. We know it, and I just want to thank you for all of your work you're doing to put meditation out into the world.
Likewise with you, Lizzie. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Bye.